I think COVID will drive a new segment, which will basically be devices for home care, which will be slightly different from what was required for hospitals. One of the things which I think in hardware development which will happen is primarily most of the devices were made for hospitals. And I think COVID will drive a new segment, which will basically be devices for home care, which will be slightly different from what was required for hospitals. So I think answering your question on IoT, I think these are going to be devices which will help chronic patients to kind of, or patients to kind of maintain. Now, um, I also believe that people tried this before, and the reason why it did not take off primarily was because that the behavior of people when they are when you try to identify their problem for the first time uh, for a home care was probably not working psychologically, because it has to happen in the hospital or at the community level. But the moment he's known chronic patient, then he would prefer, his behavior changes and he would prefer to also like to be maintained at home. And given COVID, that you don't want to go to a hospital and you feel that you may get an infection, that will drive this. And so IoT devices, which primarily, I'm not talking about wellness devices, I'm talking about IoT devices which take care of certain measurements, which if it can be wherever possible to maintain at home, that is a segment which will grow now. And that cannot be standalone. It will grow because there is going to be this new emergence of this digitalization, right? So the standalone devices at home will not work if it was standalone, only when it is integrated with this large scale digitization, because hospitals are getting digitized. They have electronic medical record. Now they can have follow-up patients. Then e-consultations will happen, because most of the chronic patients will try to do follow-up. And if you look at what Dr. Yadav talked about, the Lancet article, you're going to have a lot of chronic patients who are going to be left, right? Now, that disease management, whether in our case, like retinopathy or macular degeneration or glaucoma, will be maintained at home, for which there would be a software which will connect the doctor and the patient, and there would be hardware which the patient will have at home, and there would be some artificial intelligence which will only kind of trigger patients who have a problem. Only those patients doctor take care. So I think that is going to be the new opportunity.